Bang, what's up guys? Shiroberry back at you with another one of these videos. That's it. That's it. That's the intro. All right. Today is day 15. We are drawing Her Story, which is a very interesting game. I want to spend some of this time kind of talking about the game because it's going to be in my end of year gaming challenge type of video. If you guys don't know, I'm assuming everybody here knows, but I have a main channel. It's called Shiroberry. I do more like actual edited videos. I don't know. I put a lot more effort into those videos. A lot more than like the 3 to 4 hours that this takes. Probably sometimes less. Let's be honest. But yeah, in the main channel video, I do this thing every year where I just talk about all the games that I beat because I do it in kind of a weird way. I don't ever let myself buy games. Well, I mean, I buy games, but I have like a stipulation where it's like I must beat 2 games before buying another game. So the first year I did it, I was like, oh, I'm going to kind of clickbait it and be like 2020. I think it was 2020 actually. 2020's hardest gaming challenge. When it was really just like some lines that I made for myself so that I don't continue to buy games and never play them, you know? But I ended up keeping up with that video series, even though it wasn't really a challenge. So I think I changed the title last year. But it just basically boils down to every game that I've beaten a year, which it doesn't actually end up being that many. You look at someone like Jacob Geller, someone that I look up to, by the way, so much. Jacob Geller's like number one, I think probably top 5 like most looked up to YouTubers. Also top 5 YouTubers very easily. He beats like 50 games, upwards of 50 every year. I think probably more. I think probably like hundreds actually. But I end up beating like, I don't know, like 10-ish. Point being, that Her Story is going to be on my list of games this year. So I kind of wanted to, get some of my thoughts flowing with some of these stuff, So like, I drew this one because I felt like I had a good idea. It being like you looking at like this old 80s, 90s sort of style computer. I actually don't know if it's 80s or 90s. When I looked up, I just looked up box computer. And then I went off of that for my reference image. I don't know if it ever actually shows the computer that you're looking at, like in game. But yeah. Oh man, I completely lost my train of thought. Another thing, I was like kind of tempted to just not record today because I don't know. It's been a little bit of a long day, a little bit of a long day. That's okay. But my brain is just a little bit fried, I feel like. So I tried making like a voice message to my partner, Leo, and I just deleted it like twice, which I don't usually do. But I was like, this is just not making sense. I'm just like rambling, which is kind of what I'm doing now. What was the point? Okay. Oh shit. I gotta make sure that I edit that out. I don't know if there's anything important in those little screens that came up, but my computer needed to update. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to remember to block those out. Another thing, I'm just going off right now. But I forgot a couple videos ago, I forgot to add the badge arcade to the end of the video because I made a slight change. Usually if I make a slight change, I'll add it to the end of the video. So I'm going to add it in right now. Bang. You guys see that? I don't see it right now because I haven't done it yet, but it's there. Anyways, back to this game. For the drawing, I'm going to talk a little bit about the drawing really quick. For the drawing, I did like a POV of you watching the computer screen. I kind of made it this like nasty. I should have gone more yellow because I wanted it to be like that white color, but that like got tinted yellow, crusty Dorito dust sort of yellow, ended up being a lot more brown. I think it works. I don't think that people looking at this will be like put off by it at all. But the big gimmick here, besides, obviously the composition, is that I'm not doing any outlining, or at least I'm trying not to. I'm just doing base color, highlight, and shadow. And I usually do that for the backgrounds, but I did it for the character once we get to that point as well. So the game itself, I do want to like kind of spitball some stuff about my thoughts on this game. I think it's a very interesting game. Whenever I think about this game, I think about like wanting to replay it. But then I'm just like, it's a game about discovery. And while I don't even think I fully understood the game when I beat it, I think I would still be able to go back and be like, all right, here are the key details. Let me explain the game really quick. I'm not sure if I already did that. You are scrubbing through police interrogations of a woman who I'm pretty sure she lost her husband or something, or maybe her husband did something bad. I actually don't remember. Fuck. I wish I could remember. I'll make sure that I catch myself up on the story before I film the video. But it's something like that. And then you basically search the database by keyword. So what you end up doing is you search shit like the, so that you can just get like a base of, what's it called? I don't know. But it searches the, transcript. It searches the transcript of each individual interview. So let's say you say the, then it would be the first, I think it's like 8 or 10 videos where she says the in it. But then you start listening to all these and you start sort of piecing it together super unchronologically, and you start getting more questions like, I'm not going to spoil it obviously, but like there's like, this is not related. Oh, there was a goldfish involved in this. I'm going to look up goldfish. So you look up goldfish and then goldfish comes up. And you're like, whoa, okay. So there's a story with the goldfish. Oh, but the goldfish was thrown into a pond. What the hell? So you look up the pond and you just keep going. I would describe the experience like the data entry version of or data discovery version of like Battleship, maybe. Where you're just constantly throwing out these big ideas, not sure if they're going to hit, but when it does hit, bang, you made that shit. And it feels great. It feels so fucking good to watch so many minutes of like the same bullshit that you already knew, and then hitting one keyword, and you're like, whoa, wait, hold on. You're right. This blank thing. I do remember one specific big spoiler, like big important word that like made me like sort of recoil back in my chair. And I do remember that word still to this day, but it is massive spoilers if you want to play this game. And I would recommend playing this game, by the way. It's a very good game. It's very interesting. They made another game called Immortality, I think, which I want to check out. But I will say one thing that this game, another thing, all IRL video. So like the character that this is based off of is just an actual real actress. And they made another game called Immortality, which is also another sort of in the same style where it's like real characters, and then they just build the game around it, if that makes sense. But I really like the gameplay of her story. I like scrubbing through the data. I like having these discoveries where you input the one word in the transcript and you're like, yes, I'm so smart now. So I'm not sure if I would like Immortality. Anybody out there who's played this game in Immortality. Shoot your shot. I don't know if that's the right word. Give me a pitch. Like, pitch the game to me. Because I want to like it, but it's like hard to get behind in the same way. Anyways, let's talk about this drawing for a little bit. The face without doing outlines was so fucking hard. I think if I do it like this again, I need to find some better way to go about it. Like, I think I maybe need to copy the lines despite it being like no line work. Maybe just do the lines in a different color and then end up like covering over it over time or something. I don't know, but something about my process here needs to change if I ever do this sort of thing again. I do end up cleaning up and making this look a lot better than it looks right now. Like, I think it looks so shitty right now. I think that was a big help. I stopped trying to tilt her head up like I had in the sketch, and I was like, I'm just going to have her facing forward. Forget all the extra stuff. Yeah. One thing about, what's the word? One thing about not doing outlines is that these color lines, like where the color meets the other colors, is a lot more abrupt. And if I want to change the color or do like some stuff you see later on with the magic wand, it ends up giving a really ugly effect. Like, do you see how it's like kind of jagged on that side that I did that to right there? That happens right underneath the chin when I start adding some more detail to the hair. And I do not like how it ended up looking, but I also didn't really notice it. I at least don't think that I noticed it until I was already done with the drawing. So yeah, while this was like a fun experiment for me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do no outline because this is a real person. So I'm gonna try to make it like slightly more realistic while still keeping it like, for the most part in my style. Speaking of which, this isn't my style, but something that I copied from the actress. She's got an amazing chin. Can we all agree that? She's got like a strong, like virtual Trackmania streamer sort of chin. And I love it. It's very awesome. And it was fun. I was happy to have gotten that over to my piece, if that makes sense. Like, I think I did good with the chin definition, if that makes sense. I think for the most part, I'm like pretty happy with the face. I think the eyes could have been better. And I think that the entire head itself could be smaller as well. I don't know if you guys do this as artists, but when I just barely finish an art piece, I'll come back to it or I'll think about it throughout the next day, and one thing will stick out and it'll make me like cringe without even looking at it. Like, I'm like, oh, I did this and I really wish that I didn't. You know what I'm saying? For me on this piece, it was I made her head too big. I really don't think it's that big. Like, I don't think it's really bad at all. I think that I could have maybe made it like down a bit more because it's a bit far up above the shoulders. But I don't think I fucked it up that bad. But in my head, it's like this giant, like, bobblehead, crazy, freaky character. But no, I think I did pretty good. Okay, so now I'm doing like not the overlay, like the reflection of the lights in the background. Like, I like that that's in the game, that you can sort of just like really feel like you're staring at a old CRT type computer screen. So I add that, and then I also add some blue lines to sort of give it, that low pixel aesthetic. I ended up not being able to do it that way, so I just did it that way. But I don't like how it ended up looking, so I just did this because it's so easy to do that scraping. Oh shit, we're at the end here. It's very easy to do that scraping thing, so I've turned it on the side. Okay, subscribe, comment, goodbye.